my belly button looks a little wrinkly. Never used to look like that. Or my boobs sag a little bit more. They used to be really high and perky. When are you wanting baby number 2? I feel like this is another juicy one. I was laughing so hard. I'm peeing on the ground. I'm covered in baby poop. And I'm like, what is life right now? I honestly feel like it took a good year after having Sage to start feeling like myself. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Nikole. Today is gonna be a vlog, but also we're gonna chat about like a main topic, which is my 1 year postpartum body and just lifestyle update. I have been getting so many questions like on Instagram and YouTube about like how I lost the weight, what does my routine look like, any other updates and stuff. And I want to give you guys like an actual body update, like close up and stuff, because I know it's not, and I've mentioned this before in my other postpartum update videos, it's not about like comparing or judging. It's really just about like, oh, I didn't know that's what a postpartum body may look like. Doesn't mean that this is everybody's body a year later. Just, I find this so interesting because when you are pregnant or thinking about having kids, there's just so much unknown. And I remember a friend one time telling me, like, when I shared my early postpartum body on Instagram, they messaged me and they said, thank you so much for sharing this. Like, I just have never seen a body like actually revealed that soon after birth. Let me dive into my Instagram account because I asked you guys the other day just to send in like all your questions around postpartum and stuff, and I said ask me anything that's TMI, about diastasis recti, pelvic floor, loose skin, belly update, exercise, body aches, stretch marks, wellness tips, breastfeeding, and weight loss. And I put weight loss in there, and I also talked about it on my stories. I'm always skeptical of like talking about like postpartum and baby weight loss because I don't, first off, this isn't a weight loss and diet channel, and I don't ever want it to come off that I'm like, do ABC to lose weight. It's not about that. I feel like I want to share the things that I do to make me feel good, and if that means that helps you lose weight as a symptom or byproduct, and that's what you're looking to do, great. If you're looking not to lose weight and just to feel good, that's great too. I don't like the bounce back mentality. I think we got to look at the bounce forward. I love that approach, and you know, I think your body will always be a little bit different, and that's okay. And it's, if anything, it's just a reminder that you grew life in your body and birthed a child, which is so cool and blows my mind every day. So I'm just, I get excited. And like, I look at different things on my body sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, my belly button looks a little wrinkly. Never used to look like that. Or my boobs sag a little bit more. They used to be really high and perky. You know, it's just, those cross my mind, but they also don't stick around because I don't allow them to. I'm just like, that's just a new change. I love my body and I'm so proud of it. So I want this video to be very body positive, and I also just want to answer your questions, like all the juicy ones. So we're just going to go about our day. It's actually already noon. I did a live stream this morning on Amazon. We did a walk. We got ready for the day, had breakfast, but I want to film this video. It's actually like a gloomy, rainy day today. So I thought it's a perfect day to like stay in, share all these topics with you guys. And you guys, like, you asked me a lot of questions, so I know that there's definitely some things I'm going to touch on, and I'm going to give you an actual body update. We're going to get close and personal. Yeah, we'll just see where this takes us. But yeah, you guys have some really good questions, and I am happy to answer them as if you were just like a best friend asking me these questions. Like, it shouldn't be TMI, and I'm okay to open up about them and shed some light where it is needed. Okay, I'm going to go downstairs, grab some food, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Daddy daycare over here. Hi, CG. Hi, Cashew. Welcome to a 1-year-old.
Uh-oh.
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 Is that your Lego?
Uh-oh.
Hi. Do you want Milky? Okay. So I've actually done a 1-year breastfeeding update video, so you guys can check that out if you are curious or breastfeeding yourself. I don't know if there's any breastfeeding questions on here. Would you like some milky? Milky? Yeah. So I got a lot of questions about how did I get rid of or improve my diastasis recti, and that is basically when your abs separate. So it's very common, if not I think necessary for your I feel like it happens to everyone, your abs to separate during pregnancy because your body is making room for your baby in your belly to grow. But I don't think everyone has issues afterwards. Like some people's abs just go right back together, and then some people have different levels of separation. And I've mentioned this in my previous postpartum videos. She likes to switch back and forth a lot. I haven't checked recently, but I did have like a small, I think maybe 1 or 2 finger gap, and it's definitely decreased. In the beginning, I could feel it. There's different exercises that you can do to check if you have separation, and there's definitely exercises to avoid for, you know, a good chunk after having a baby, because it will make it worse. And you might think like certain ab workouts like crunches would help it. That one is actually, I know, really bad for diastasis recti. So definitely do your research, talk to a professional, maybe get a trainer or something that specializes in postpartum recovery. And I think that will really help and go a long way, because there's things that I definitely did not know that I was made aware of. So I think that has made a difference, because you don't want to make the problem, not that it's a problem, but you don't want to make the situation worse. You want to help improve it, because we do need, not for a 6-pack, but we do need those ab muscles to hold everything in. So I found personally, I still felt very pudgy, like near the top of my abdomen, and it was because I was still having more of the separation at the top of my abdomen than the bottom. And so like your abs literally hold in your insides. They support everything. So you want to make sure that's in check, as well as your pelvic floor. I got questions about pelvic floor. So I'm going to share with you guys my favorite, maybe like 10 postpartum exercises that I personally love to do. I did a lot in the beginning and I still fit them in here and there. So I will show you guys that after I feed her. This is a breastfeeding question. Did you have your period while breastfeeding Sage? 1 year postpartum and not yet. Yes, I basically got my period, I think 3 months after having Sage, and I do notice a slight milk reduction when I'm on my period. Definitely a heavier flow. I mentioned this in my 15 changes that have happened since becoming a mom. So definitely check out that video if you're interested. She likes to just switch back and forth. Okay. Someone is asking, did you ever poo or pee yourself after from a weak pelvic floor? I have the funniest story, which is definitely TMI. I've told friends and family, and I think it's hilarious. So 1 week, no, not even, like 3 days being home with Sage, obviously your pelvic floor is like non-existent. It's so weak because you just had a baby, go through it. If you had a vaginal birth, I remember getting out of the shower, Matt was changing Sage. I thought Matt was like asking me something or whatever. I was in my robe. I walked down the hallway. I'm a good like 4, if not more feet from Sage. He's changing her like on the change table on top of the dresser, and her like legs are up in the air, her bum's facing me, and does she not projectile poop all over me? Like I was freshly clean, nice shower, washed my hair, literally poop from like next to my eye. I thought I had it in my eye. I think there's some on my brow. Next to my eye, all the way down, and like next to my mouth, all the way down to my feet. I didn't even know baby poop could spray like that. And I honestly, like, it was the funniest thing, because I feel like I've maybe told this story online, but not in this depth. I don't think I told you the finale, which is good. I'm covered in poop and I start laughing so hard. And then like, cause it's everywhere, right? And I'm just like, how did that happen? And like, even Matt was in shock. He's like, So let's back up for a sec. When I came out, Matt was changing a pee diaper, and he looked at me and he's like, oh, I think she's trying to go number 2. And so he's like kind of covering the diaper, but also waiting for her to poop. And like, clearly we were newbies, and he should have covered it up all the way, and like he didn't. And that's why I was covered in poop. I'm covered in poop. I'm starting to laugh so hard, and if you've had a baby, you know you have no control of your bladder, because your pelvic floor helps contain everything. And I literally start peeing on the floor, like on the hardwood floor in our hallway. I start tinkling a little bit, and I'm like, oh my God, Next thing, Matt asked me, "Are you peeing?" And as soon as he asked me, the floodgates opened up and it was like, psh, I couldn't control it. I was laughing so hard. I'm peeing on the ground. I'm covered in baby poop. And I'm like, what is life right now? I felt like we both got initiated as new parents with a newborn at that moment. Like, I wish someone could just screenshot. I have that like moment screenshotted in my mind forever. And it was the funniest thing. And now it's one of those things I look back on. I'm like, oh, it's just so funny. Like, I just peed on the floor. Sage pooped all over me. And that was the only time she's pooped on me, actually. And then Matt and I are both in shock. We're like, what is happening? And then like, I think I just go back in the shower. Matt cleans up Sage, you know, find a guy that will clean up your pee after having a baby. And it's just like something to look back on, and I can't wait to tell that story to Sage when she's older. Yeah, I basically just went back in the shower and washed myself again. And yeah, Matt's a trooper. And then like, I think we were trying to like get Cashew not to step in it. It was a whole thing. So anyways, that was my, yes, I have been pooped on and peed the floor. Let me know if you have an embarrassing story like that down below in the comments. I would love to hear it. Hey, Matt.
Hey.
When are you wanting baby number 2? I feel like this is another juicy one. Honestly, it's something that we talk about here and there. I think we definitely want another one. I'm just, you know, it's finding that perfect time, which we never know when is. But I definitely, one of my goals this year is just to continue to like feel like a strong, I was gonna say like, I don't like to say like my old self, you know, there are things that have improved since becoming a mom. I feel more mentally stronger, and just like more confident as a person. And I would definitely say though, like my core strength and just my overall fitness, I'd like to improve on a bit. We are active every day, but I want to get more into like strength training and stuff like that. And just like, once again, focusing on strengthening my abs, my pelvic floor, and all those things that get stretched out again when you have a baby. And so I'd like to start at a good place before we have another kid. And also like just make sure like our life stage right now is like in a good spot to bring in another kid. Like right now we're traveling a lot and stuff, but babies travel well when they're in the belly. Okay, I actually am really hungry right now. So let's go get lunch now that Sage is good. Did Sage eat yet?
No, I'm making.
Okay, so Matt's making some pasta for Sage. I'm going to heat up something for myself. What do you feel like for lunch?
Already.
Did you? Oh, you had leftovers? Okay, yeah. I'm on my own. Okay, Matt ate some leftovers, so I'm on my own. I'm gonna scrounge through the pantry and see what we got. I'm gonna eat first before I show you some exercises, because like I can't exercise on an empty stomach. I actually forgot we have leftovers from last night's dinner. My sister made one of my favorite meals, which is a buffalo chicken Caesar salad with crispy croutons. So good. Lots of Whoa, oh my god, look at Sagey. She loves this toy all of a sudden. I'll link it down below. It's in my baby and toddler toy must-haves video and blog post. But yeah, she loves it. She was just standing. So this is a great protein. You got your greens, you got your healthy fats. The dressing is my 5-minute Caesar salad dressing. It's so good. I have it on the blog and we use it all the time. And I'm actually just gonna have a little snack beforehand. So I'm gonna actually have some of these organic pretzel chips with some hummus. We got a big thing of hummus. So I just feel like I need a little snacky before. So hummus and like crackers or hummus and veggies is like a good go-to of mine. Apples and nut butter. I would say when it comes to food, I never restrict. I honestly think when you restrict food, your body goes into like starvation mode. Do you want a snack, honey? Hang on. Your body goes into starvation mode and it's not a good cycle to get into. You know, don't worry so much about the size of the portions that you're eating, unless obviously it's like a cheesecake. But like eat just like real whole foods, like have salad, have veggies, have protein, you know, good healthy bread, like seedy multigrain breads or sprouted. Like I find if you just eat more of the good stuff, you can literally just eat more of it. And it's when things are processed and more junk foods that those are the ones you want to limit. So, you know, I would never just take like a big bag of chips to the couch. I put it in a bowl, I finish that bowl because it's easy to overeat like a bag of chips because it tastes delicious. But if you're having like veggies and hummus, like, you know, some people would say like hummus has fats in it because there's oils and stuff. I am not scared of fats. I honestly believe that, you know, if you just eat good quality ingredients and stuff, like your body understands how to work with those foods and process them instead of like trans fat and artificial like ingredients and dyes and like all these additives are in our food lately. I think that is what makes the big difference of avoiding those and not like avoiding food altogether. Food is fuel and you need food to feel good, like mentally, physically. Some days I have 2 breakfasts. I'll start my day with a green smoothie and then I might have some like toast, good quality butter, maybe some jam, maybe some avocado smashed on it. I never let myself go hungry or start to feel like that jittery, like hangry mode. If I do, I like try to grab something to eat, like a protein bar, or, you know, I just get something in my body. If you're like, you know, thinking about trying to lose weight and stuff after having a baby, I do not think that, this is a personal opinion, obviously talk to a professional or doctor. I don't think restricting calories or food is the way to go. I think just swapping it out for good alternatives and getting movement in your day is key. You eat all your Cheerios. Even like what Sage is eating right now. These are, I guess like a healthier Cheerio. They're by this company called Cascadian Farm. And I always look, so my thing that I try to avoid is sugar. Sugar is what I think is the, like, I don't want in my foods. Unless it's like natural sugars or fruit sugars. I am just really mindful of that. So this actually only has 1 gram of sugar and I think it's just from the malted barley. But there's no added sugar. Like all the ingredients are just grains and yeah, basically all grains, a little bit of sea salt, and like this girl don't need no honey roasted Cheerios, you know? Yum, yum, yum. That being said, I don't want to say like I treat myself. I allow myself to eat when I have a craving for ice cream, cheesecake, all of that. I just eat it in moderation. And I follow like the 80-20 rule. And that's what's worked for me my entire life. I definitely had less like than healthy eating habits and exercise habits when I was younger. I was skinnier, but I wasn't healthy mentally and physically. And I just feel like it's what you do every day, not sometimes. Excuse me, I need that. Thank you. Oh, the tantrum. No, honey. Huh? Are you sitting on it? Oh, it's down here. Oh, okay. You drink out of that so good now. Holy. So Sage is having some chickpea pasta. And I'm having my chicken Caesar salad. Matt, she's just dipping in. This is kind of spicy though. I also would say that leftovers are a must when you're a busy parent. Make extra of your dinner and have that for lunch the next day. I think that makes it just easy so you're not just like ordering in, picking up fast food or something quick and easy that comes out of a box. Just make extra. And then the other thing is just like have healthy snacks available. You're gonna want to snack during the day and you don't want it always to be like chips and stuff. So, you know, having freshly cut fruit in the fridge or buy it already cut if you're like, I don't have time to do it. Have some fresh fruit that you can just grab and go, like an apple, banana. Those are easy. You can also, you know, prep some stuff in the beginning of the week, like make some healthy granola or granola bars, or some energy bites or something. There's so many, I have some really great recipes from my cookbook. My raw chocolate chip cookie dough bites, I always talk about, those have cashew butter and almond flour in them. So they're gonna help keep you, you know, fuller with the healthy fats and protein and stuff. And they're just like a good in-between meals snack. Also, I have some honey roasted sriracha cashews. I usually will have either a smoothie, oatmeal, toast with like nut butters or whatever, like hemp hearts, banana, or you can do like, you know, a granola parfait. I haven't had one of those in a bit just because I usually like to make my own granola. Lots of options, but of course I usually have my green smoothie. I feel like that gives me energy, gives me nutrients. It's like my multivitamin in a cup. And also, since you don't always see it in my videos, but it's behind the scenes all the time, drink water. Make sure you're drinking your water, staying hydrated. I always have, it's upstairs, I think. I always have a water bottle hanging around, and I drink water, mostly water during the day. Water, herbal teas, herbal coffee, and sparkling water. Those are my liquids of choice. Sometimes wine. Wine is good. Hey guys, I just wanted to pop in here quickly and let you guys know, if you want early access to my big secret project that I'm officially letting you guys know about on Instagram, follow me here, February 1st. If you guys want to know even earlier, make sure you sign up down below to be the first to know what my secret project is going to be. You guys are going to freak out. It's so awesome. I know you're going to love it. And yeah, check out the link down below. Sign up so you're the first to know. And make sure you're following me on Instagram. On February 1st, everything will be revealed. Even earlier if you're signed up on the email. All right, I'm here with my sidekick. And I'm going to talk about exercises that have really helped me with my recovery after giving birth to this girl here. Oh. And I want to talk about like my favorite exercises and also specifically things that I did to help repair my diastasis recti, which is the ab separation that I was talking about earlier. And yeah, we're just gonna go through the exercises. I'm gonna show you them. I am not a fitness expert, so always talk to your doctor, talk to your health professionals. These are just things I did, so I wanna show you guys in a video. I have them listed here. I just kind of had to sit down and think about the ones that I did all the time. There's obviously so many more, but these are some of my favorites, and I just want to share them with you. And before I get into it, I first just want to say, when you are recovering from birth, there's a lot going on. Everyone's going to feel so different, and it's so important to pause and listen to your body. Just because something is a postpartum safe exercise, if it doesn't feel good to you and it hurts, probably best to avoid it and not do it. Maybe you're not there yet. Just because someone can do it doesn't mean everyone can do it. And especially with ab workouts, I think a lot of people just want to get right into the crunches, the planks, and the twists, and that is actually going to do more harm to your body than good, especially if you're not doing it right, or you're not doing certain modifications to help the diastasis recti. So, you know, definitely just listen to your body. And also what I think is so important with, sorry, I'm like watching Sage at the same time. What I think is so important is breathing through everything, learning. So the other big thing is breathing. And I cannot stress this enough when it comes to your pelvic floor and ab separation. Breathing has been, it sounds so simple and it's so underrated, but breathing has been one of the main things that has helped me recover with my ab separation and pelvic floor. Like just breathing, just pausing, slowing down, and connecting with your breath, like actually does something. Okay, so we're gonna get right into some exercises. I'm gonna put this up here. Ow! 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 Sage! Ow! Hey, let me see. Does this have stuff in it? Oh my god, good thing I brought that over here. squat with them. So honestly, just focusing on form and breathing is gonna do so much than just like piling on weight. I think in the beginning, you don't even really need to worry about weight. It's really just about activating those muscles, breathing, checking in on your body, seeing how things feel. Another question that I got a lot is about pelvic floor. I actually saw a pelvic floor specialist, and they actually help you throughout your whole pregnancy, especially postpartum, to just check to see if you have an under or overactive pelvic floor. So before you do anything for your pelvic floor, unless it's just like straight up breathing exercises, I think it's really important to actually get an assessment. They'll do an internal check and actually see how tight. You can actually go in and feel how tight your pelvic floor is. Obviously you need to know what you're looking for. And she would actually compare it to like, depending on how it felt. I will say I did avoid like any jumping things when I was pregnant as well as postpartum. You know, you may see people on the internet and online, like celebrities, like getting right back into it, running and stuff. Like, yes, you physically could. I just don't think it's worth it. Especially when your pelvic floor is still recovering. So one of the jumping movements that I did once I was ready to, because after you have a baby, it feels really, really weird to even think about jumping off the ground. Like it just feels wrong. So I listened to my body, and when I felt like up to it, I did toe taps, which are just like little jumping. In the beginning, I just did like little ones, and then I switched to this. And work your way up. But like, I definitely did not get into running right away. I mean, I still don't really run. One of the movements that we do every single day is walking. I think walking is so underrated. We walk every single day with Sage and Cashew, if not twice a day. I try to aim for around 10,000 steps a day. I don't have it on me, but I have a step counter, which I will wear to track kind of my daily movement. You can also track like your workouts and stuff and your heart rate. But for me, it's just about movement, and I love walking. I love body weight exercises and strength training, as well as like the stretchy yoga and Pilates flows. So like those three things I really love, and I'm out of breath. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of pelvic floor exercises, what that may look like, but like I said, you should check with a professional to assess your specific needs. And then I'm also gonna go through a little stretch flow that I used to do every single day when I was pregnant. I haven't done in a while, and I'm excited to incorporate it into my day. Okay, I'm gonna get some water though, I'm thirsty. So some things that you definitely wanna avoid is coning. So when your abs start to actually like cone up and go kind of pointy, you'll notice that if you're like leaning back or something. You definitely want to avoid that. You want to avoid pressure. You want to avoid balancing on like a single leg, especially if you're in like a plank or something. No bicycle twists, no crunches. Those are things that just put too much pressure that you want to avoid. And like I said, go slow, listen to your body, and breathe. And then anytime it came to my diastasis recti, when I would breathe, I would even just do this in the shower, we'll do the front first. I would breathe in and then breathe out, and literally just picture these muscles wrapping. Okay, and then I'm gonna show you some pelvic floor stuff. A couple of the exercises that I've done a lot for my pelvic floor is breathing while doing Kegels. And this is something that you learn when you go to pelvic floor physio. So I'm just gonna breathe and just relax everything. I have one hand on my chest, one hand on my stomach, and I'm gonna do a nice deep breath. And then as I exhale out, I'm going to pull in my pelvic floor, kind of like I'm zippering. So I'm going to breathe out, contract my abs, and then zipper up. Like you're holding a golf ball and you just hold it. And I usually do this counting to 10 seconds and then release. And to reset, I'll do a big deep breath in and out. And relax. Another one too that I've done is I'll do a deep breath in, out, pull in and do a Kegel. And then as I'm holding, I will still breathe, but drop one leg at a time. Still holding. Other ones you can do is breathe in, breathe out, pull in, and then lift. And that's pretty much it. Like those are the main things that I did for the Diastasis Recti, for just postpartum recovery in general when it came to working out. And then my pelvic floor, like I said, a lot of it is just breathing. I would do it in the shower. I would do it when I was breastfeeding Sage. And that's when I noticed the biggest difference. I don't know if mine is completely healed. There are different like exercises you can do to check it. But I'm going to link some of my favorite exercises for diastasis recti and pelvic floor in a blog post down below. So definitely check that out. I'm also going to link my favorite just like postpartum exercises and flows and stuff that I've done. There's some really good ones on YouTube. So I'm going to like gather them all up together and share them for you guys so you guys can just check them out, see if they work for you. I just want to go through some more questions just to really get through a lot of ones that I keep getting asked and touch on the whole weight loss thing again. And then I am going to put the clip of me kind of sharing my body update as well in this video. How did you deal with the lack of sleep, emotional roller coaster, and low energy? Did you experience that? Yes, lack of sleep. I honestly feel like the 4-month sleep regression was harder than the newborn phase. I feel like the first couple months, you know, they're waking up a lot throughout the night, maybe every hour, maybe every 2. And then you get like the short window, which I think is called the honeymoon phase, where they actually are just like sleeping really good. Like every time you put them down, they fall asleep. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have a really good sleeper. And then all of a sudden the 4-month sleep regression came in, and that was really, really hard. I talk all about it in my baby sleep video. I'll link that here. I talk about what we did. We did a very light form of sleep training, probably around 4.5, around 5 months. And it made the biggest difference. There's so many like little things that you can do just to tweak and help support your baby to learn to fall asleep. But yeah, that was definitely rough. I would make sure to have naps. Even though I'm not a napper, I would have a nap before the nighttime shift. But yeah, just taking naps, resting when you need to. You know, if baby falls asleep on you, just embrace it. It doesn't stay that way. And I miss those times so much. And if Sage fell asleep on me now, I wouldn't move. I would stay in that spot until she woke up, and I would just embrace it for what it is. Not body, but how do you improve / maintain mental health 1 year later? And that is getting outside. I cannot recommend this enough. Whether you live in a warm climate, cold climate, even when Sage was like a month or 2 old, we were outside. She was bundled up. If it was a warm winter sunny day, we were outside. She'd have her best naps outside. There is something about being outside, being around nature, that is so healing, and I cannot recommend it enough. And yeah, I get outside every day, and we still do that, and that makes a huge difference on my mental health. And then meditation. I try to meditate every day. Throughout Sage's life, that has gone through waves. There's been weeks I didn't meditate at all, and then there's been weeks I'm like, I need to meditate every single day, because if I don't feel good mentally, like I'm just not a good mom. I'm not good for myself. So like it is a priority. And Matt and I have always just kind of been on the same page with this. You know, if he wants to go to the gym or work out, or I want to meditate, that's not like a nice to have or a must be nice, you know, that's like a necessity for us to feel good. So I know some people will kind of complain about like, oh, like my partner just wants to like go to the gym all the time, blah, blah, blah. Like that is improving their mental health. When you feel good, you're going to do good. Just supporting each other on what you need to do in a day to feel good. And if that's like taking a nice hot bath or going for a walk by yourself with a good podcast, find a way to fit that into your day and support each other. Do what you need to do to feel good and then support your partner when they want to do the same and just kind of swap. So a lot of people are asking me about weight loss. How did you lose the weight? It's been 2.5 years, still struggling with weight. How much time did it take you to return to your previous weight? And then some just say weight loss. So let's just talk about weight loss. And I feel like I talk more numbers in some of my old previous postpartum videos, so I don't like remember exactly those numbers now, but definitely check out those videos. I mean, I know roughly, and this is just a warning, I'll mention a couple of numbers, so if that's a trigger for you, just, you know, I'll put a number on the screen, I'll put the time on the screen, you can jump to that, and that way you can avoid it altogether. After I gave birth, I think I lost around 20 pounds, and then I had around 10 that was just kind of sticking around, which is totally normal. It's normal to have more than that. And, you know, everyone's body is different. And I would say I probably took a good, I want to say like 6 months to lose that. I have to like, maybe I mentioned it in an older video, but I feel like those 10 pounds just kind of hung around for a bit. Also because, you know, my breasts were larger with milk. Those are heavy. And I wasn't really like focused on losing weight. I was just focusing on fueling my body with food so I could have a good supply of milk and, you know, just feel good. I was also just excited to be able to eat large quantities of food again. When I was pregnant, I had really bad digestion and eating was not that enjoyable. And so once I had Sage, I was like, give me all the food. And I was just enjoying eating again because that was kind of taken away from me a little bit when I was pregnant. It was just like not a fun thing. It was like, ugh, I have to eat, you know, because I'm growing a baby, but I just felt really uncomfortable when I had a full belly. So in terms of things I did, I honestly feel like, you know, the obvious, I do think breastfeeding helps in some way because it burns a lot of calories each day. That being said, I was eating more food than I was even when I was pregnant. And I think a lot of people think, oh, if I breastfeed, I'll lose the weight faster. You are hungrier. And if you don't eat those extra calories that you need, your milk supply is going to decrease. So like, it's not just like I can burn the calories and eat less and I'm going to lose the weight. It doesn't work like that. It's like you need to like make sure you are eating a certain amount of calories to support milk production. And yeah, if you restrict, you're going to decrease for sure. So I think just, you know, making sure that I was eating home cooked, wholesome food. I really tried to avoid eating out when possible. During those first few weeks, I was really fortunate. My parents, who just lived down the street, brought over a ton of home cooked food, which was so nice, you know, because ordering in gets old real quick and you just don't feel good. So, and then just like home cooked food, I feel like when you make food at home, it's just going to be better for you. It's going to have less salt, less sugar, less preservatives, less crap in it. And like I said before, your body just knows what to do with it better. And like, don't focus so much on like portions, but more so on the quality of food, I think is key. So I feel like honestly, just eating home cooked foods, getting movement in every day outside of just like taking care of the baby, making sure you're getting outside. Walking was so big for me. I walked every single day once it was safe for me to do so. And then I probably only did like weight training, body weight workouts like once a week. I was working out with my friend Laura, who is a pre and postnatal fitness coach and expert. She's a mom of 2 and she trained me throughout my pregnancy and also postnatal. And that was really great because it helped me understand what certain exercises were good for me. And it just kept me consistent because I knew once a week I was going to get a good workout. And they were only like 40 minutes each, I think. And I would just do it while Sage was napping and it was great. I could do it virtually and she does programs all the time. So I will definitely link her, but there are just lots of free ones that you can do online. But, you know, just setting a schedule for yourself or a time of day that you're going to do something for you. And that was important. So just like consistency and not so much intensity, like I keep saying. There is a question here about, you know, the whole pandemic and dealing with anxiety and motherhood. I will say, and this could be a whole other video, I will say one of the hardest things for me outside of just learning to be a mom and, you know, navigating that new way of life has been growing and raising a human during a really scary time in the world. I found out I was pregnant with Sage like right in the beginning of lockdown, like March 2020. It was a really scary time, so much unknown, and I feel like that carried on with me throughout my pregnancy and throughout just being a mom, and just having to realize that there's certain things I'm not going to be able to experience, and that's okay. Just grieving, like no mommy groups, no play dates, not a lot of like family gatherings. I haven't had a normal family Christmas like most people since 2019. So I feel like the hardest part for me has been missing out on just connecting with other moms and having Sage interact with other babies and kids her age. So that's something I really want to implement more of this year. And, I want to put her in swimming lessons. I want to do some mommy groups and stuff, and where I can. So even if they're virtual, I think it's important to stay connected. I know there's so many like Facebook mom groups and stuff, and obviously so many moms here online that I've connected with. And yeah, it's hard. I realize there was a few weeks ago, I was walking and I ran into another mom with a stroller, and her son was just like a few months older than Sage. And she was just like asking if I was new to the area, if I was moving there or whatever. And we were just visiting, and she's like, oh, okay. Like I was just looking for other moms to connect with. And then, we exchanged names and stuff. And she told me of some like mommy groups that were around the area. And after that conversation was done, I left there and I started crying. Like, it sounds so dramatic, but I realized that has been something that's been missing from my mom experience, and how much it is needed. The fact that I had this connection with this mom, just like walking on the sidewalk, and then I felt the need to cry because it just felt like it just hit me, and that, you can act like you don't need something, but yeah, I was just like a bit emotional, and I realized like how important it is to me that I create those connections. So, try to find a community of moms and other families where you can, because I think it's a necessity, really. There's a couple of questions on like loose skin, stretch marks, and all that. I didn't actually get stretch marks, which I feel like is out of control in some ways. I did do a lot of belly massaging every day, so I don't know if that helped, but I didn't get stretch marks. And then loose skin, I definitely have. I even feel like my breasts are like thinner, looser skin just from like changing sizes throughout the day. Belly, still some loose skin, not like crazy loose, I will say, but like if I squish it together, there's definitely some wrinkleage kind of thing. But if I was to lean over, there's not like a droopiness. Maybe after baby number 2, there might be more stretching and loose skin going on. Okay, here's one. I had to address it. Your sex life isn't as good as before. For me, it is still painful sometimes. So I actually, TMI, sorry Chloe for who's editing this, but I felt like before having Sage, I thought, oh, like, I don't even know when I'll be ready to have sex after having a kid. And honestly, I will say like I felt ready even before the 6-month mark, but I didn't tear on my perineum, which is like the bottom of your vagina that connects to your rectum. And that I'm sure is very painful, and I'm sure scar tissue is very painful. So if you have that, don't be hard on yourself. I think that is totally normal. And, I don't know if you can also go to like a pelvic floor physiotherapist or something to see about like getting that massaged out or how to reduce pain during sex. But like, I didn't have that. So I honestly felt like pretty normal to have sex like after having a baby. I still waited a few weeks, but like, I do think all my perineum stretching and stuff that I did before baby, which if you haven't watched my video on how to prepare for a natural birth, like my tips and stuff, you can check that here, and I talk all about that. I have a blog post as well, but I did do that, and I do feel like that helped just make it less painful. Honestly, now it's like nothing ever happened. It feels totally normal. And if you told me I didn't have a baby, I'd probably believe you. The human body is crazy, and things just like, it's like your body was meant to have babies. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of breastfeeding ones, so check out my breastfeeding video here. And then there's a couple too of when did you start to feel like yourself again? And honestly, I feel like it was the 1-year mark. I honestly feel like it took a good year, like after having Sage, to start feeling like myself. once she started sleeping throughout the night, I definitely started feeling like, oh, I have my life back a little bit. I was feeling a little more sane in the daytime. Sleep deprivation is, it's challenging. It really just, like, you just can't think of anything else except you just want your sleep back again. Will I ever get 8 hours again? If you're in that right now, yes, you will. It will get better, I promise. And if it's not, there are so many resources online, so many people. I got so much help from Lily Little Baby Sleep on Instagram. She's amazing. And it's just crazy that we have these resources now, because I talked to my mom and she's like, we didn't have any of this, you know? So there is always help available. There's free help that you can find online. There's paid help. It's just about like asking for help. And I also think that around the year mark, I just started to feel like me again. Being a mom felt more normal. I was starting to create a routine in the day, finding time for me and Sage, and getting good sleep, taking care of my mental health, taking care of my physical health and exercise and all that. But it's hard to find a balance. It really is. So if you're kind of like teetering back and forth, some days it's more on mommy, baby time. Some days it's more you. I think it's hard to fully have a complete balance. The scale's always going to tip a little bit more one way or the other. So be easy on yourself. I don't have it figured out. There's many days that I'm just like feeling lost, so confused. What am I doing? I'm crying. I'm confused. I think everyone feels like that. So if it looks like I have things put together because I share an edited version of my life online, don't mistake that for us being, you know, experts at anything. We are learning and growing and figuring it out like one day at a time. Honestly, I'm really enjoying the stage that Sage is at right now. But like a couple months ago, I was like, oh, okay, what's happening? You know, like they just changed so much. So you just gotta go with the flow and give yourself some credit because you're doing amazing. And this is your reminder just to, yeah, give yourself some credit and take it slow. Find time when you can, and you're doing amazing. All right, so I'm gonna show you my current body, what it looks like a year postpartum, and just get real up and close. So this is what my belly looks like 1 year postpartum. So I feel like weight-wise, I'm back to my pre-baby weight, but I definitely feel different. And I shared this in my last postpartum update video. Like the number on the scale is not a good representation of like where, like, are you at pre-baby weight or like pre-baby self? My core is definitely still weak. If you can see, we're gonna get like real close here. It's still like, do you see like the wrinkly skin? Right there. So the belly, I used to have my belly button pierced. It's definitely wrinkly right there. Don't mind my nails. I have to get them done, but definitely still wrinkly skin. But like, unless I literally squish my skin, you can't really tell. I do still get bloating. It happens a lot more at the top. But overall, I do feel more like me. Like I don't feel like in my head like, oh, I have baby weight to lose. I feel like myself. If anything, I just want to strengthen my core. Like I can tell there's like a little bit definition here, but this here is like very weak, and I feel like if I crouch down, there's definitely some like loose skin. But like honestly, even before I had a baby, I never had like a defined six pack. I just kind of had like a flatter stomach with some excess belly fat. All right, there you have it. That is my 1 year postpartum body update, how I lost the baby weight video, and just things that I do to feel healthy and fit and, you know, just make time for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe if you aren't already. I post here every single week, Wednesdays and Fridays. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really helps support my channel. It's a free way to give back and say, I'm liking what you're doing. Thank you. Send some more my way. And I will see you guys in my next video. I'm going to have a full playlist of all of my mommy videos down below. Definitely check that out. Also, a reminder, if you haven't already checked out my secret project down below, I'm officially given some teasers, but you guys can sign up to be the first to know. I'm letting you guys know on, what's the date? I'm officially letting you guys know on the big secret project I've been working on February 1st. So make sure you're following me here on Instagram so you can find out. But if you want to know even earlier, sign up with the link down below. You get early access to what the secret project is. I am so excited. You're going to love it. I just know it. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Have a fabulous day and just give yourself and your body some extra love. It's amazing. You're amazing. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. Mwah.